episode 163 of Gracefully and Frankly. Or wait, did we just do this on Monday, on Groundhog Day?
Oh.
I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt, and it is not Groundhog Day.
No.
I joke about having groundhog stew on the 3rd and 4th, but no, that doesn't sound good either.
Okay, so I'm not quite up to date on who said what. So you obviously in Port Stanley, Ontario, where you are, care most, if you care at all, about Wyatt and Willie. So what did the little bugger say this time?
Well, Wyatt and Willie did predict an early spring, but the other one we watch, which is Punxsutawney Phil, decided that he didn't agree. So we get 6 more weeks of winter. He's in Pennsylvania, of course. Shubenacadie Sam, who lives in Nova Scotia, predicts an early spring. And Lucy the Lobster in Barrington, Nova Scotia, where I guess groundhogs aren't plentiful, also predicts an early spring.
Ah, there you go.
How would a meteorologist feel about getting all of this education and learning about wind patterns and all these other things, and then once a year we turn to a groundhog who, as far as I know, has never been to school?
No.
And tells us the forecast.
But you know where he'd go? Groundhog warts. Ha
Ah.
Just so ridiculous. I mean, there are so many people who don't even believe in climate change, and yet they're paying attention to a stupid rodent, honestly.
Well, kids love it. That's what changed my mind about it. I used to groan and go, oh, we're not doing Groundhog Day again. And then you'd hear that little kids think it's really cool. It's like, okay, it's one for the kids.
Yeah, it wasn't so cool the year they pulled him out of his hole and he was dead. It's just like...
No. I remember that.
Oh, God.
I was on the air that day.
So was I.
Brian Hill, I remember we sent him to Wyerton.
Yep.
And the gasps and the crying. Oh, my goodness. And that was just Brian.
Yeah, that's right. So how do you bury a groundhog? You just throw him back in the hole and fill in the dirt or what?
Something like that.
Oh, God. You know, my former partner, Don Daynard, was instrumental in getting Wyatt and Willie as a thing. It was one of his old friends, Mac McKenzie, who came up with this idea. And so it became a thing and kind of put Wyerton, or at least a certain hole in it, on the map.
Yeah, Wyerton wouldn't probably be on anybody's lips otherwise. I mean, there's a fine town, but
sure,
why would you know it otherwise? You need the biggest ball of string or something. You have to have a reason, right?
Right. Well, speaking of balls, in Bolsover, near Beaverton, do you remember the CFTO, then CTV weathercaster Dave Duvall?
I do, very well.
Dave Duvall was instrumental in bringing us our own groundhog. That was where we had a cottage, was on the Trent Canal in Bolsover. And his name was Bolsover Billy.
Isn't Bolsover like one store and a collection of docks or something? I mean,
yeah, it was just a wee stop. Yeah. So groundhog lore aside, how's your week going?
Oh, it's going great. I mean, it's not the weather I enjoyed when I was with you, that's for sure. Oh, I got back to cold warnings and minus 30 temperatures. It was pretty crazy. When I got into the cab at the airport, of course, I didn't have a jacket or anything with me. I had a couple of extra shirts in my bag and put them all on. But it was quite a culture shock.
I could just picture you there getting into the cab dressed like Judy Garland running from a hotel bill, all bundled up. In every single thing you own.
Yes, just not quite as fashionably, but yes, exactly.
Yeah. And of course, our hearts were broken last Friday with the news about Catherine O'Hara. My feed is still just brimming with clips of her from SCTV onward. What a legacy.
It's so neat to know that comedians and fans growing up in the U.S., I mean, of course, SCTV eventually migrated all over, but it felt like our little Canadian thing when we were younger, right? And to know that it's gotten such a great wide audience. And I love the story of Catherine O'Hara quitting Saturday Night Live because she didn't want to live that life. And she was just always so smart and had her priorities straight, and so funny.
She truly was. Now, tell me that SNL story, because the way I read it this week was that she was offered SNL and then found out that SCTV had been re-upped for another season, and so she said, no, I'm going back to SCTV. Was she ever actually in the cast of SNL?
I don't think she made it to anything on air.
Yeah.
But she could have stayed and said, I want New York and I want to have this bigger platform.
Yep.
And she wanted to be with her friends. And she was just such a wonderful woman. I almost feel like you knew her.
Yeah.
I wish I had.
And the fact that not one person, no one anywhere has a bad thing, a bad encounter, a bad moment or memory. Do you know how difficult that life must have been to live for her? I mean, obviously she was a genuinely kind and good person, but to have that kind of legacy, it's unheard of.
It really is. Even John Candy had some bad encounters and some bad moments.
Of course.
And very, very few. But yeah, I've never heard of anyone like that before either.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about her reuniting with John Candy. But we can't forget Joe Flaherty has passed on as well, Count Floyd, and he was a mainstay of the original SCTV as well. So, I guess we're supposed to get used to this.
Not at 71, though. Not at 71.
And I had never heard, and there's a good reason for it, it's her business, about this medical condition that happens to 1 in 10,000 people. Of course, she was 1 in a million, where your organs are kind of reversed on which side of the body they're on.
Yeah, and I guess you'd never know unless there's an X-ray or something like that. But good thing it's rare because, well, for one thing, apparently it doesn't affect life expectancy. But the other thing is, if you had to give someone emergency CPR or something, and you're in the wrong area, it is kind of an odd thing. I would have thought it would have been a lot more detrimental to her than it was, thank goodness.
It's just so sad, so sad. Catherine O'Hara gone at 71. Ah. Well, let's brighten things up because, I hear one of my favorite sounds.
Mine too.
It's the percolator. Hey, Velma R. bought us 3 coffees, and gosh, we love to hear what you do while you're listening.
Yeah, Velma crochets, which is really cool.
Yeah, so we are keeping her in stitches and dropping a few every now and then. We do that too. And also to Margaret Niemela, she bought us 5 coffees. Thank you for that, Margaret. How do people go about doing this again, Lisa?
Oh, it's so simple. At the website, gracefullyandfrankly.com, there's a little coffee icon, and you just click on that and follow the prompts, and you can send 1, send a million, whatever it is you want to do.
A million.
But we appreciate it.
We sure do. And I love, too, that Margaret left us a voicemail. Do you want to hear it?
Terrific.
All right.
Absolutely. That's the other icon at gracefullyandfrankly.com.
And, of course, the next icon is you. But here we go.
Hello, Erin and Lisa. It's Queen Nature Margaret from Blueville, Ontario. Yes, the one who discovered black licorice ice cream for Erin at Scoop and Waffle while visiting Sydney, BC for a few days last May. Now when you have that craving, Erin, it's only a short walk away, even though you say it didn't get a 10 out of 10. I'm happy to hear you made it back to Ontario, Lisa. I'm sure Cuddles and your husband were thrilled to have you back home. Thank you, ladies, for the live Facebook chat and for continuing to provide us with enlightening and entertaining podcasts each week. I listen to them either laying in bed on my Envy pillow or with my morning coffee. I also purchased a travel Envy pillow I keep in my van for road trips, but I did take it to Italy last October on my group tour. It sure helped me get a better night's sleep, as sleeping in different beds with different pillows just doesn't work for me. This brings me to, why do holidays, just like Lisa's 2-week visit with you, seem to go by so fast, but winter seems to last forever? Oh, look, it's snowing again. Thank you again, ladies, for making me laugh, teaching me new things, and both just being your true selves. Take care. Chat soon.
Aw, Margaret, thank you for the call, for the coffees. And of course, she's such a great supporter of Gracefully and Frankly, but she does bring up that good question, and I don't know how many times you and I discussed this as you tried to wrap my little 5-year-old brain around this. Okay, so try. Why does time go so quickly when we're having fun, and it just seems to drag the rest of the time?
Well, here's how I understand it.
Okay.
Now, remember, I'm not a scientist. I only play one on a podcast.
Okay.
So, like when you fall, for example, if you're falling and it seems to take forever for you to hit the ground.
Yeah.
It's sort of because your brain is slowing things down to take pictures of what's going on for your memory. So it's supposed to slow down when you're doing something new, like traveling, but speed up when you're doing something that is routine that you do all the time. So that doesn't work at all in this instance.
I just don't understand it, but
Yeah.
it's true. It's so true. Our 2 weeks together, Lisa, just flew, and every day now since you left has been, is it time to walk the dogs again? Is it time to put on a scary show? Is it time to have dinner? It's just everything just drags.
It's routine, I think, that starts to drag. And I don't know about you, I actually kind of like a bit of a routine, but that's where it starts to drag, I think. And that's why working in an office 9 to 5, you're waiting for, is it time for the coffee break yet? Oh, it's 8 minutes after 9. I guess not.
Right. Yeah. A watched kettle never boils, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it eventually does. It just seems to take forever. And then there's something called false memories. Lisa, if I ask you to describe the Fruit of the Loom logo, would you see a cornucopia in there?
Oh, maybe. There were grapes and... Yeah, maybe.
Well, a lot of people, in fact, the majority of people who ever think about the Fruit of the Loom logo, for whatever reason, remember a cornucopia or cornucopia, however you say it. There wasn't one. There never was one.
Okay, so why do we remember it? That's the question.
It's something that they attribute to the Mandela effect. Now you're asking, what's the Mandela effect? Or you're smart. I bet you know. What is it?
It's got to do with Nelson Mandela's incarceration. And I remember reading about this. Some people believe that he died in prison. And I never heard that myself, but I know there's a whole bunch of people who think that's what happened.
That's right. It was a once common misconception that the civil rights leader died in prison in the 80s, but he passed away peacefully at the age of 95 in 2013.
Right.
So the Mandela effect, which is what it's called, it's kind of a communal example of a false memory. They're recollections of events that didn't occur or facts that aren't real. Like people have memories of a movie line that was never said. Play it again, Sam. He never said, play it again, Sam.
Right.
That kind of thing. But once it enters the lexicon, it just kind of becomes fact. Now, academics have strongly debated how common these memories are, but everybody agrees they do happen. Now, in our childhoods, we can have false memories as well. Part of it is you remember the last memory you had. So if somebody says you had a 4-layer cake on your 4th birthday, they remember it. Eventually, as family folklore goes on, remember that year you were 4 and your fairy godmother made you a 4-layer cake. It never happened.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Another part of it is, you know how you're typing something on your phone and it completes a line or completes a word?
Oh, yeah.
Your memory does that. When there are blanks, it fills it in.
Isn't that interesting? I wrote something similar to that in some fiction I'm writing this week, and I'm saying that so that you know that I wrote it first before we talked about it when it comes out, because it just makes perfect sense. The nature abhors a vacuum, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the more people contribute to that memory, the more it kind of becomes your own. And that's why false memories are such a hot topic when it comes to recalling your childhood or testifying or, that's why also eyewitnesses are generally so bad when it comes to trials.
Right. If we didn't know better, we'd probably think they were the most reliable, but they're not. Have you ever had someone tell you your own memory? You've told them a story, and then maybe, 6 months, a year, whatever later, they tell you as if it was theirs?
Yes.
That's happened to me.
Yes.
Weird, eh? And I don't think there's anything malicious in it. I think it's just a manifestation of what you're talking about.
Yeah, false memories.
Tell us about that time you were at the nudist camp. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you were. She wrote a book about it, The Naked Truth.
Oh, no, don't promote the book.
I love promoting your stuff. Why not? Speaking of your stuff, can you tell the actual story of the chunky gold watch for us? Because I'm dying to hear how this all comes out.
Okay, so my dad used to go to Vegas, and one time he won a bunch of money, and he bought these watches, one for himself and one for my mom. 14 karat gold, he told us, and they were ugly.
Okay, describe them to us.
Okay, so they look like a bunch of gold nuggets sort of stuck together. My mom's was much finer, like a finer, thinner band, but it was still, she was never going to wear it.
Okay.
It looked like it came from Vegas, let's put it that way. So Dad wore his all the time. In fact, he didn't even want to take it to a jeweler to get it sized properly. It hung off his wrist. I don't know. Can't explain my dad. Miss him terribly. Anyway, he was one of a kind. So I thought, I've had this for so many years. I'm never going to wear it. Mom wouldn't want it to just sit in a jewelry box. I heard that gold was at an all-time high, so I thought, well, I'll check it out and see what it is. Long story short, markings on it, I put the markings through AI.
Okay.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's another cautionary tale. And AI came back and said, oh, that's just gold plating. It's worthless. It's not even worth scrap or anything. It's not worth anything. So I was talking to my brother about it. And he said, don't you remember I took Dad's into a gold dealer a few years ago? He said, it's 14 karat. I said, it really is? And it's 14 karat gold. So AI can be very, very wrong. So now I have this watch, and I haven't taken it because the orange pumpkin head in the country below us did something, and gold dropped.
Oh.
And so I've just hung on to it, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But I may as well wait and see if it goes back up again. But yeah, the markings were really, I couldn't read them with the naked eye, couldn't read them with a magnifier, nothing. So I popped it into the chat GPT, and it came back, no, worthless. Well, turns out it's actually 14 karat gold.
Ooh, so that's a really good cautionary tale. I mean, you might have just pitched that into the thrift store box. Now, my sister Heather is a certified gemologist, Stellar Gems in Kelowna. She has the highest rankings of anyone in the whole Okanagan. You reached out to her to find out something. What was that whole conversation about? And is there anything from it that we could all learn?
Oh, she was so amazing. She told me so many things about what is worth looking into, whether if I was going to get it insured. She didn't know at the time what I planned to do with it, but if I was going to get it insured, how to go about that, and the fact that if it was plated, that kind of stuff, it was worthless. But she is just such a source of knowledge. She really knows her stuff. And she was just kind of warning me away from going to any old gold place, that they usually reveal their commissions and that you can deal with reputable people online. You just have to be really careful. And yeah, she gave me great advice about that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, we always have great advice. And when it comes from a listener like Margaret, who travels with her envy pillow, it's not just from us. And it's not just because Kathy and Kim, two RNs who created this envy pillow and now a line of sheets and eye masks and all kinds of things like that. It's not just us shining them on, as they say in the gold trade.
That's for sure. And I had an envy pillow at your place. I'm back to using my beloved personal envy pillow here. But it isn't just us. We know that there are thousands and thousands of devoted fans of the envy pillow. And they recently said that they've got a little bit of a back order going on because they are so concerned about things like sustainability. They're not the kind of people that have a warehouse full of 3,000 pillows that are just sitting there waiting to get gobbled up. They order them as they're needed. Check them out at envypillow.com. There's a quiz where you explain how you sleep, what you're looking for, and they'll match you to a pillow.
Envy Pillow, ENVY pillow.com. And of course, use the code GF for Gracefully and Frankly to get 10% off.
Quench your thirst with health. Quench your thirst with wonderful fresh frozen orange juice from Florida, the state of health.
Were you ever a fan of frozen juice like that? Growing up, we always had tins of Minute Maid, or usually no name, in the freezer door.
We always had Old South.
Ah.
It was a thing with us, definitely. It was like Hey, Lisa, take a tin of Old South out of the freezer and put it on the counter because you had to let it sit a little bit before it came
Yeah.
out into the into the pitcher. Yeah.
Well, frozen juices are no more for the most part
Yeah.
in Canada. Old South went the way of the Old South a year or so ago, but now Minute Maid, which is a division of Coca-Cola, they're no longer going to be selling in Canada. They were the only company still selling concentrated products into the Canadian market. And so your orange juice, lemonade, Fruitopia, and Five Alive are going to be discontinued in about 2 months.
My question is anybody going to miss it? Because I guess people aren't using it much anymore. But it is like kind of an end of an era for those of us who just remember it so well. That was the only way we got orange juice.
Absolutely. If you did your own fresh orange juice, that would be so time consuming and, relatively expensive for those of us who grew up with the powdered milk mixed in and that sort of thing. But what happens to restaurants, Lisa, who don't do the fresh squeezed juice? They must have their own supply or something.
Yeah, something tells me that they get it in big containers, kind of like a vat of coleslaw or something. They get like a bucket of orange juice.
I was thinking more licorice ice cream, but okay, yeah.
Or maybe I've been to a couple places where they've used that powdered stuff. What is it called again?
Tang.
Tang, yes, and they call it orange drink.
Oh,
yeah.
God. All it is sugar. And that's a great reason why juices, frozen concentrated juices, have kind of fallen by the wayside, is that finally parents are starting to notice the sugar content in these juices, and that if you drink fresh juice, if you can, you get way more fiber. And so it's a little bit offsetting the worse effects of all that sugar every single morning or whenever you drink your orange juice.
Yep, the actual fruit is more fun to eat too.
Yes.
But there's waste and there's expense and there's the chance of it, like I call my counter long-term care for avocados. I mean,
yes.
You've got to get to those oranges when they're at their prime, right?
Absolutely. Now, you asked, will it affect anybody? If you're listening in Newfoundland or know somebody in Newfoundland, you know that this is going to affect you because they have their drink called slush, a cocktail of frozen juice, concentrate, sugar, and booze that's prepared in a bucket and served. Sounds fun. And served around Christmas time. So some folks are going, oh no, we're going to have to change our slush recipe.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the humanity.
Exactly. Oh, speaking of frozen, when is the service for your treadmill going to be? I want to send thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, the treadmill's been getting quite a workout because of the weather. It's just been way too cold to go outside for our walks, but I have some news for you.
It had died.
Yes, it had died, and now it has come back to life because, as it turns out, we were supposed to be lubricating it once a month, Erin.
What?
We've had this thing for 6 years, and it has never had a lubricant put on its rollers.
Oh, whoever thinks to lubricate the chair you throw your clothes on, that's just silly.
Hey, we use this thing year-round, my lady, I'll have you know. So Derek went and got some of the lubricant, put it on, and it's been working perfectly ever since. We thought we were going to have to put it out at the road and just watch it sit there for the next 4 or 5 months, but no.
Oh, thank goodness.
No, it's working great.
Good. And good for you for having a workaround for these bitterly cold days. Just the fact that you're trying to stay fit and keep your joints moving. And that's what Sierra Sil is all about. These all natural capsules and there's spray. There's just so many varieties of it to help whatever is ailing you because, there's a guarantee that if you don't start feeling relief in your joints in 14 days, you'll get your money back. But if you look ahead to whatever the groundhog is saying, you are going to get out there again to do more than just shovel and slide. You are going to be able to get down on your knees and do some gardening or just get up from that lawn chair or camping chair if you start Sierra Sil now.
With Derek, it's not his knees or his hips, it's mostly a toe. And Sierra Sil really helps with the toe pain. And it sounds kind of funny almost, but it's his big toe, and he can walk again without any pain because of Sierra Sil. Head to the website sierrasil.com and use the code GF. You'll get 14% off your purchase.
Sierra, like the mountains, Sil, SIL.com. Well, it is that time. It's time for This Week in Totally Stupid or... Twins!
Oh, Aaron, I cannot believe this week's twit. Should I name him?
Is it the Mango Mussolini?
No. Oh, no. Hell no.
He's emeritus. He gets his name on a building that he's about to tear down. Oh, my God, the Kennedy Center. But anyway.
Or cover in gold. We're not sure which. Anyway, no, this is a colorectal surgeon who does fine work in Huntington, New York. I mean, who doesn't need a colorectal surgeon? We need them, but with one T.
Okay.
You and I both have bidets, right?
Yes.
And this colorectal surgeon says if you're a woman and you're using a bidet, you should turn around and turn the faucet on while facing the controls so the washing is done from front to back. I don't think I need to go into much more detail about that. We know about front to back for women and why we do that. But how in the world is a bidet going to work if you are facing it? Unless you crawl up the wall or spray behind you on the floor. I just do not understand it. And this is the advice that he is giving out.
So let me get this straight. An entire country of Japan, from which Toto bidets come, and they are just, and Europe. I mean, they are de rigueur, the bidet, for your personal hygiene. He wants everyone to straddle that thing like a shopping mall pony and face the tank. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Isn't that ridiculous? You might as well just take a hose and spray the whole room. It's
jeez.
Or take the bidet off because it's not going to be able to do what it's supposed to be doing. So I thought that was pretty ridiculous. And yeah, he works as a twit for me.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Honestly, I don't think that all of Japan and Europe has been doing it wrong, but maybe Americans and some Canadians need to be reminded of things like how these work. Because if you read any chats about the benefits of bidets, and I have done because sometimes there'll be a story and, a paper of record that says this is a good thing, you should do it. The comments just show how little people know about not only how they work, but how their own bodies work.
And it's not a hoity-toity thing either. You can get one for like $45, so it's not a big deal.
A hoity-toity toilet. I think we've got our next $1 million idea.
You go, girl.
Buy us a coffee and we'll invent a bidet for stupid people. Okay.
All right, my dear, what have you got planned for the lovely warm weather?
Well, my sister has arrived from Guadalajara for a second visit, and of course, we're going to be fighting over the thermostat. Cindy is always cold, and I'm normal. No, I
thought she was going to be told to bring a mandatory slanket.
Well, I did tell her this time to bring her cozy PJs and a bathrobe because I cannot sit there peeling off layers and sweating while she's comfortable. I mean, I'm a good host, but you got to set your boundaries.
Well, she can always layer up while you can only get so naked, right?
Exactly. Or maybe I'll get her one of those hideous Lululemon outfits, like the sleeping bag with sleeves that our Winter Olympians, some of them, are going to be wearing from Chip Wilson and his Lululemon company. As I say to my hairdresser, can we just bring back Roots, please?
Yes, let's work on bringing Roots back. These outfits are horrible, and I can't see fans ever buying them and wearing them either.
And that's where so much of the money comes from. Remember when the Bay used to sell all that great Olympic wear so you could feel like you were supporting Team Canada, which, of course, we do. The opening ceremonies are taking place tomorrow. And, of course, this Sunday, there's going to be a Bad Bunny concert with an appearance by Green Day, and there's some football around it, too, I understand.
I understand, but you know that there is an alternative. Kid Rock is doing a concert simultaneously with Bad Bunny for the racists who don't want to watch Bad Bunny, because I'm sorry, that's the only reason to not want to watch this Grammy-winning, multi-gazillion selling, super fan, wonderful American citizen of the
Yes,
Super Bowl.
that's
Yep.
the thing. Why wouldn't they get an American? Ugh. You know, if people would just go to school and know that Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., but we haven't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Hey, isn't there also like a puppy bowl that we could be watching?
Oh, yes, the Puppy Bowl. And when I was on radio, whatever cat I had, I used to do the cat bowl as well.
Aw.
Always make the cat choose. But yeah, the Puppy Bowl is fantastic.
Well, there's lots going on this weekend. Whatever you're doing, try and stay cozy. And thanks for spending some time with us here at Gracefully and Frankly. We so appreciate it.
Catch you next week, my dear.
Bye for now. Hopefully I won't be sweating.
Oh, I hope not too. Here at Cindy.